Hello, 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 everybody. It is Jen Hart here, Jennifer Hart, if you are just meeting me for the first time. This is previously recorded, so we would love to hear a hello and where you're from, or if you're catching the replay, give us a hashtag replay. I like to say that it's previously recorded because I used to do live videos, and so we would be interacting with people, and then one time someone was like, hey, you guys weren't listening to me at all. And so I now explain that it's previously recorded so that we are not just ignoring you. We will answer comments and check in and answer any questions that you have. It's just not in the moment. So I like to share that with everybody. If you don't know me, hello and welcome. So happy that the universe has brought you my way. I am a connector. I call myself like a soul guide also. Like I help people on their soul's evolution. I've created the Connected Soul Network, and that is basically a membership now that has two parts to it. We have our explorers, which is anyone that is seeking any type of personal development, change, spiritual guidance on their journey to become their best and highest self in any aspect of life. Then we have our guides. Our guides are the people who are healers, coaches, therapists, any type of practitioner, and also supporting roles of these businesses that are helping to guide people on the journey. Now, guides are also explorers because we are also passionate about becoming the best and highest version of ourselves. The Explorers membership is now open. Yay! It's been a long time coming, and the Guides membership opened in November. So if that's something you say, oh, maybe I'm interested in that, the links are in the comment or the caption. You can check it out and see if it might be a good fit for you. We have so much great stuff to share today with our guest. And a lot of it is for members. If you're not a member and we have some events coming up, you can still attend. It is $15 per event. The best bet is to become a member. We would love to have you if it feels aligned for you. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get to our guest today. Her name is Astra Fox. And Astra is a certified ACC spiritual life coach who helps her clients break through their blocks and develop the tools they need to discover and pursue their joyful purpose. Astra began her journey of transformation at the age of 20 when she experienced a personal tragedy. She made the choice to allow this tragedy to propel her into a life of spiritual and personal growth to make meaning of the loss. Through her grieving, Astra used songwriting as a way to process her pain. We're going to get a special treat today with that songwriting. After years of self-healing, using her songwriting and spiritual tools, Astra started to channel her transformation into her songs and began writing and performing inspirational folk music. Let me say that better. And she's phenomenal. We were doing a mic test before this, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Her new style of music carried themes of joy, life purpose, manifestation, and transformation. This new writing style and mission to uplift people with her music led her to becoming a life coach in 2018 and a spiritual coach in 2020. In 2021, Astra received her ICF ACC. We'll have to talk about that because I have no idea exactly what that means. Some type of certification, and continues to grow her coaching toolkit in a variety of modalities, such as her custom musical mantras, spiritual and creative processes, NLP, how we met, and the work of Byron Katie. Astra now blends the gift of her music with her passion for personal and spiritual growth as a spiritual life coach by helping her clients transform their lives and live their joyful purpose. I love that. She is amazing. I'm so excited to have her here today. Hello. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Jen. Thank you so much for having me and for that beautiful introduction.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Yes, it is beautiful. And I have lots of questions. So I'm like, I already asked you, I'm like, is anything off limits? And you were like, no, I'm an open book, which is what I love to hear. And I like to like hear those types of things because I personally feel like that's how I relate to people is when they're really authentic and able to share their experiences when it feels right for them. Because sometimes when we're still healing from things, it's not the right time to share them with other people. So I always like to check in and just make sure. Okay, so I'm like, what's my first question?
Where to begin?
Where to begin? I think first, can you define what the ACC and the ICF ACC is? Just because I don't know. I know that there are coaching programs out there that you can attend and get certified. So, what does those things mean specifically?
So ICF is the International Coaching Federation. So if
Okay.
there was a license to become a coach, there isn't. Anyone can call themselves a coach, but if there was a licensing board, it would be ICF. And ACC is the associate credited coach. It's like the first, you know, the first round of accreditation through them.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to start. My lighting is just not great today. It's like sunny and then rainy, and so the outside is all messed up. I like to always talk about how I met people. And sometimes it's just like these random occurrences. You and I both attended an NLP training in October of 2022. And you were sitting right in front of me for the first couple days. And then, so I, this cracks me. I crack myself up. From a workshop that I went to, I learned to always move seats. And what had happened, this was a smaller group, and everybody got really comfortable in their seats. So the first day, people went to go sit in their same seats, and I moved seats. And so I saw what happened was like I threw like everybody off because every day I switch seats because I want to interact with different people. I want different perspectives. I want to meet more people. And so on day 2, I sat in your row, and then we like turned and worked together as a group. And so once I already knew I loved you because you have the most beautiful hair ever. And so I obviously saw the behind your head, and you could see it now. It's just this beautiful curls, and it's so voluptuous. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
And it's purple. If you can't tell on video, it's bright
Yeah,
purple. So it
right,
definitely
purple.
stands out.
Yes, and when I had curly hair like yours back when I was a kid, I dyed it purple too, secretly. It was
Oh,
like
I
the with
love
Kool-Aid.
that.
I used Kool-Aid to do it,
That's
without my mom's
fantastic.
permission. Such a
Without her permission?
without her permission, yeah.
Oh my
I just did
gosh.
it, and then what is she gonna do then, So,
Yeah, and
um
I noticed when we teamed up for one of the exercises at the NLP training, I was just instantly like, "Oh yeah, this is my girl." Like
yeah.
we kind of honed in on each other, and it was just you just made me feel super comfortable and like I could be myself, and that's always what I'm seeking out in my friendships, and so it was just natural between us, I felt.
Yes, yeah. Instant like soul tribe. Like I just feel like there's those connections with people that you really feel like yeah, it's like home. It's like a piece like of home where you could just be yourself. And we did some exercises together. So it was really fun and exciting. And so we physically met, and that's how we know each other. And then you knew I was in the process of launching the membership. And then when I launched it, you were like, I'm in, I want to be there. And I really wanted Astra to be in, and I was sharing it with her, but she had just joined another membership. So I'm not like a pressured salesperson. I want the people who are a hell yes. So I just share it. And if it feels aligned for people, then I want them to come and tell me. And you were like, I'm in. And I was like, yes. And I even told her, I was like, I didn't want to ask you to join because I knew that you had just joined something else. So I was really hoping that you were going to be like, I want to be in. And then you did. So here we are. Astra is a new guide in the membership. Yay. So today, what I'm doing is I've worked with my spiritual designer slash astrologer, Danny C. Muniz, and she's amazing. So she has created transitional topics for the collective for me. And so I kind of have now started basing my shows and my events off of these transitional topics. So today we're kind of going to talk about, and as it weaves in naturally, of course, leadership, the heart chakra, inner child, and creativity. And all of those kind of work perfectly for what Astra does in her business. But before we get into what you do for business, I always like to talk about how did this all come about? And you had mentioned in your profile that you had a tragedy at 20. Can you tell us what happened? I know I asked that it was okay, and you said yes. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that sharing our personal stories are really powerful. Once, as you said, once you feel ready and safe to do so, it just helps to allow us to all feel connected. And I just trust that someone is going to gain some insight or comfort from my story. So when I was 18, I got married. And when I was 2 weeks from my 21st birthday, he died of a drug overdose.
oh my
And
God.
so we had been in this really toxic, codependent relationship where he was diagnosed with manic depression and using drugs to self-medicate. And I was codependent and in love, and I had more fun using with him than I did fighting with him about it. And
Mm.
so, unfortunately, it ended in him overdosing, and I wasn't there. We had gotten in this cycle of, fighting. I'd threatened to leave, and he just so happened to try Oxycontin for the first time. We were living with his folks, just trying to get some support for all the chaos that was ensuing with his mental illness. And so his dad ended up finding him, and what happened, it was really, I call it just such a catalyst for me. The day that he died, it just was like, it felt like I had been in this tornado of chaos. And the day he died, it just like all of a sudden it stopped. And it completely renewed my faith in a higher power. I had this deep knowing that he was on his path, and what happened was what was meant to happen. And I also was at this choice point of seeing the trajectory that I was on, using drugs and not valuing myself or feeling empowered at all, and where that would lead, versus deciding to make my life positive. And really, I set a beacon for joy, and that I was going to heal from this loss, and I wasn't going to let his death take me down with him.
I love that. Well, so I did not know any of this story ahead of time. Holy crap, that is so powerful. And I'm like, we're probably gonna have to do another live for sure, because I'm like, I can go way deep into this, and we'll go a little bit deep, but I know we have so much to share. You have so many awesome things that you have going on in life that you've created since this catalyst. So what I heard was there was codependency, there was drugs, there was the overdose, and then you personally, like, it was almost like a wake up call, and then you made a decision, and you saw, it's like you just got like zapped, like, and it was like, okay, I have this fork in the road. Which way do I want to go? And so you decided that you were going to use this as a learning experience, and you were going to choose joy and find that joy and activate it within yourself.
Absolutely. I felt like I had a second chance. I was only 20. I was 21 basically.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to waste that. Big part of that choice and that decision was I was tired of being sad. I was
Yeah.
tired of being miserable. And I didn't want to, like, I definitely saw a clear, like, I was like, oh, I have a perfect excuse for throwing my life away and diving deeper into drugs. Like, this would be the perfect reason that I could do that.
Yeah.
And that was appealing. I did take up smoking cigarettes for a couple of years. So it wasn't like it was like this instant transformation, but it did feel like a spiritual awakening for me.
Yeah.
And I had called myself a Christian. Short story, I was raised atheist. I met my husband. He was a practicing Christian. He opened my heart to a higher power. I got baptized. I said I was a Christian, but right about the time he died, I was really questioning, my belief in that. And so I recognized I didn't identify as a Christian anymore, but I believed in a higher power.
Yeah.
And so his death led me on a seeking path. And
Mhm.
so I became a joy seeker. I became a growth seeker. And I just started, I had this appetite for personal growth and development, women's retreats, finding a spiritual center, meditation, all of these spiritual tools as a way to grow and heal myself of the tragedy.
Yeah. I love that. So, like, if someone was watching this and they're also at that fork in the road, what would you say to them? And then also, what was your one next step that you took?
So I think what I would say to them is, first, I'm sorry, and I understand, or can understand great loss and how it can make no sense. And also, we do always have a choice in how we respond. You've maybe heard the quote, "We can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond."
Yeah.
And so know that if you are in the midst of that fork in the road, that really just go within and ask your higher self for guidance on which path to take. And so I truly believe, and this is one thing I do with my clients, that we all have the answers within us. Developing that intuition has been something that's been really powerful in my own practice. And so being able to check in with that voice within to get guidance on which way to take. But when we're at those big forks, like, sure, I thought it would seem like it would be the path of least resistance to keep using drugs and dig myself into a deep hole of depression. Like
Yeah.
that seemed easy, right? Like making a choice to make my life joyful and have meaning and purpose and be happy didn't necessarily seem easy, but I strongly knew that was the choice,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And sorry, go ahead.
No, you can finish, and then I have another question.
Well, you had asked the second question that I was going to answer, which
Oh
is
yeah.
what was the simplest step that I did. And I ended up pouring my grief into my songwriting. And so
Mm,
before I started writing inspirational music, after my husband's death, just started pouring out of me all of these really heavy, dark, sad songs about what I was experiencing, about our relationships, what I would say to him if I saw him again, what I would say to his family, who we were grieving in very different ways. And so that was a really powerful exercise for me that I didn't consciously know that I was doing, but I've done workshops on this with clients now, is like take that painful thing that you've experienced or you are experiencing and find a creative outlet for it. Because what happened was I sat in my grief and my pain and my sadness, and I was able to look at it and not push it away, not pretend it wasn't there, not try to not feel it.
yeah.
But I really sat with it and experienced it and ended up creating these beautiful songs from it that I played and cried as I played, and it ended up helping me heal the grief.
I love that. I'm like, so it's healing grief through creativity.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
is perfect because one of the topics for today is creativity. So it's like you took this creative outlet that I assume you probably already had,
Yes.
and you were able to channel and feel your grief and release it by combining the two together, which happens, that's one way it happens for a lot of people. So that's really, really powerful. And that has now helped you to, like you said, you've created workshops off of it, so you're able to take that as a gift of that experience and lead others through their own journey of, purpose, joy, and it sounds like releasing grief as well. What's crazy is that I don't feel like I've had a lot of grief in my life. However, and this leads perfectly into my next thing, it's like every time I have sessions with people, they're like, "Oh my God, you have so much grief," because I haven't actually felt it or released it. And I've
Mm.
probably suppressed it so much. And grief can be in many different ways, right? It can be in death, it can be in any type of life transitions, it could be in ideas that didn't pan out. Like, there's so many forms of grief. It could be just having hurt feelings of something in some way. And so I don't know what my exact question would be, but maybe you can just comment on it. It's like, I see that a lot of people turn to substance abuse. And I'm so grateful for myself that, like, that hasn't been my path, but I'm sure I would say that if maybe I'm not a drinker or smoker really, or I don't really do drugs, but it's like eating has been my little combination of stuff. And so I'm still working through that. But what I find is that a lot of times when we have these substance abuse, it's like the root cause is something that's happened earlier in life that we haven't yet dealt with. And so it's kind of like we're stuffing that pain down. So I don't know if you have any like comments on that. Cause I don't know what the question is, but it's like, what was the root cause for you maybe of why you started drugs in the first place?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah. So anytime we're avoiding emotions, I've heard it called buffering,
Okay. I like
right?
it.
And people do it with food, they do it with substances, they do it with sex, they do it with social media, they do it with TV,
Shopping. Yeah.
shopping. Good
Dating.
one. Yes.
Yes.
And it's just avoidance of trying to avoid feeling an emotion,
Yeah.
right? And so
Perfect.
why was I using to begin with? Probably the divorce of my parents. Like, not, I've been estranged from my dad since I was 14. He was completely emotionally unavailable and cheated on my mom. And so there was definitely some, like, it was a broken home for sure.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that's probably where that came from. And definitely the codependency, because I definitely, like, all through my adolescence, teenage years, and into my 20s, I was like very, like, would glom on to my partners, my male partners, like wanting that male attention.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, anytime we are trying to avoid feeling emotions, then buffering, it's like we go grab that thing. And so that's one thing that I work with my clients to do, is like being willing to feel emotions, like sitting with an emotion. Like, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it have to tell you? And once we're able to sit with our emotions, that's when those compulsive behaviors can fall away.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So that is exactly what my focus is right now in life. Like I'm waiting to start therapy for assistance with emotional avoidance. I've done a lot of work on the spiritual side with a lot of healers and coaches, and it has been phenomenal and it's helped me. And what I feel called to now, I'm in a couple different things. So I have a couple different paths. But yes, that's exactly it. So that's where my grief comes from, is because I avoided those emotions. And so it's like weighing and it's heavy and it always comes up. And it's like I've been working, gonna get into more somatic, like breath work and stuff like that to like move these. And so I love that. Oh, that was just so divine. Like that all came together perfectly. And that's like the simplest answer. It's like it's emotional avoidance. But the thing is I just feel like for myself, I can always only speak for myself, and but also maybe others could resonate with this. It's like I didn't even know that I was avoiding emotions, but like you said, like I can see codependency that shows up in my life, dating repeatedly emotionally unavailable men, and also being emotionally unavailable myself because I didn't know, like, I've never been in touch with the emotions. Like, it was always not okay to cry, like, that's weak. And yeah, so, ooh, so good.
Yeah, well, just speaking to not being aware of the emotions that you're unwilling to feel, because it can happen on a very subconscious level. Like we
Yeah.
learned, like the big thing we talked about in our NLP training we took together was the power of the subconscious mind and how it drives
Oh, yeah.
95% of our beliefs, our habits, our behaviors. And so, but what I found is that all roads lead to Rome with coaching my clients.
Yeah.
So when we start working on one area, like helping them pursue their passion or helping them develop their intuition, helping them create a meditation practice, like those things start to unearth the issues that need to come up and be healed. And so when you
Yes.
start working on one part of it, it will help to heal. It has like a trickle down effect of affecting the whole. And I mean, this is all for me lifelong work, right? Once you
Absolutely. Yeah.
kind of shake it up and uncover one thing, there's another layer to the onion.
Yes, 100%. And I agree with everything you said. And it's like, I can see, so I'm really working on finances and my relationship with money. And I see how family dynamics and growing up as a kid has affected that. And so it's like seeing those patterns, and health is also, it is all related. So if you work on any aspect of life, like, I think you and I talked about this specifically. It's like when I have been guiding others in sessions, I'm like, all of a sudden we're focused on like vision, mapping, and that's what we're doing. But then all of a sudden it's like about relationships. And I'm like, what is going on? But I just trust the guidance of the universe. And as we worked out that stuff and looked at that, it's like the other stuff was able to open up and come through. So I love that. Let's talk about, so we have so many things that you have to offer people. And I think people are really going to be super excited about it. Like from a book club to coaching to you have a masterclass on intuition. We're doing an event together that we're collaborating with in the network. So let's talk about, what do you do? Because you said, you've told us like I did all these things for myself. And then how did you decide, or what was that moment that you were like, well, now I want to help others do this?
Yes. So I'll just talk briefly about me making the transition from writing sad love songs to writing inspirational music. I reached this place where I had felt I had healed my grief. I was kind of on my spiritual path. I felt like I was starting to live my joyful purpose, but there was this disconnect between the songs that I was singing and performing and the way that I was feeling inside. So I had this story that I only write when I'm sad. I only can write depressed songs. Happy songs are cheesy. And those were the stories I was telling myself in my head. And therefore, when I wasn't grieving anymore, I wasn't songwriting. Yet I
Mm,
still have a passion for performing and being a musician. And so had this band and we're playing these songs, and I was just like getting to the point where it just wasn't resonating at all with me.
yeah.
And so I made the choice at an Abraham Hicks seminar that I was like, oh, of course I get to manifest whatever I want. I'm going to write happy songs that aren't cheesy. And I
Yeah.
went home and I wrote my first inspirational song. And that was the second time in my life I just had this like avalanche of creativity flow out of me, where I was writing about my, um, my transformational journey, living your purpose, following your passions, and believing in yourself. And so that was the culmination of became my first album, The Calling. And since then,
Mm.
I've been playing at spiritual centers, women's workshops, and so I was doing that for a while. And then I had my son, and then about the time I birthed my album, and then I birthed my son, and then I was listening to Jen Sincero's book, You Are a Badass, and she mentioned she was a life coach. Now, as I was listening to this book, I was thinking, I know all this stuff, from all my studies. And then when she said she was a coach, this light bulb went off where I was like, maybe that's what I should do. I always struggled with what I wanted to be when I grew up. I worked in restaurants, I did hair. Like I just never felt like I knew what my calling was.
Yeah.
So this light bulb went off. I call it like a breadcrumb from my intuition, where and then I went to work and I was talking to a friend and she's like, oh, you're thinking of being a life coach? I just hired a coach. You should hire my coach. And like things just started opening up for me. And it wasn't until I went to my first coach training in 2018 that I really learned what coaching was and how it really partners with the client to follow their own inner wisdom and all of the transformational and amazing tools that coaches can offer and have access to. That was when I had like fireworks, like this is my purpose, this is what I'm meant to do. And I always knew I would somehow merge my music with my coaching, because I felt like, okay, coaching, like singing about people living their purpose and following their passions is so awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
And coaching will actually give me the tools to get people to take action on achieving it, right?
Yeah.
And so just in the past year and a half or so is when I started writing custom musical mantras for my clients so they can rewrite their belief systems and sing themselves into their dreams, basically.
I love that. And we are going to hear a musical mantra. I think I'm going to save it till the end. I feel
That's
like
what I'm
that'll be
thinking too.
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So stick around, or if you can't, come back. And at the end, Astra will leave us with a beautiful musical mantra. I heard it earlier, and her voice is amazing. So she does not do one-off sessions of these musical mantras. You actually pair them with the coaching, as you said, but you did say that there is some of them available if people like want to hear them and be in the essence of them, that you have them posted on your Instagram.
Yes. So
Okay.
there's a little in my highlights reel, it says musical mantras. And so what I found is that I will partner with a client in a session to help them discover limiting beliefs that are holding them back. I coach them through basically disarming the limiting beliefs. And then we create together new beliefs that they actually believe are
Yeah.
true. And
Mm-hmm.
then I take all of that and I write them their own custom little song from it. Now, we all have the same shitty thoughts and limiting beliefs.
Right.
So that's why the musical mantras are so effective for all of us.
Yeah.
But I think that the most power comes from being able to have that one-on-one coach dedication, creating that space to coach you into belief. That's how they're the most powerful. But I sing mantras at spiritual centers for women's chant drum circles, and we all benefit from them. So I trust that everyone will enjoy listening to the ones on my Instagram.
Yeah. I mean, just hearing the one that you did earlier and that you're going to do at the end of this video, I know that they're going to be so amazing and beautiful. What is your Instagram channel?
Joyful Purpose Coaching.
Joyful. And is that linked on your website?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I will post the website.
joyfulpurposecoaching.com.
I'm going to link the website, and everything that we are going to talk about today, that will be available on Astra's website. So it's perfect. It's all in one spot. Yay. Okay. So you talked about the Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass. And I want to bring this up now because you already brought it up. We both have our little copies here. She is actually, Astra is leading a book club right now for You Are a Badass at Making Money. I've read this book. I highly recommend it. I actually started rereading it. I would leave it in the bathroom and I'm like, TMI, but that's okay. That's how I roll. And then I would just open up pages and be like, what do I need to know today? And I'd open up a page, and then all of a sudden it was like the perfect thing I needed to know. So if you have any interest in joining a book club,
It's free.
oh, it is free. And there's not a lot of time commitment. So you run your book club a little different than what I thought. So we'll talk about that. But you're currently doing this. People can still join this book club version. And then on the 3rd of January, you're going to start your new book, which is, you tell us.
Yes. So this is hot off the presses. My friends in the book club don't even know this yet, but we're going to be reading Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton, case studies of life between lives. So these are transcripts of past life regression sessions that Dr. Michael Newton did with his clients, and discovered that a lot of them had similar experiences of what happened between their lives.
Cool.
And so inspiring. So much of it I resonated with me when I first read it as a remembering. Again, really gives great perspective on life's tragedies or choice points that we have. So I'm very excited for this one. A different vibe than You're a Badass at Making Money. I love this book because it has tons of exercises and ways to apply the teachings. This one is just a great read or a great listen. There's nothing you have to apply or do. So I thought this would be a nice one easing into the new year. And again, it's fairly casual. I just wanted to start a book club because I'm so passionate about personal growth books. I wanted a little bit more of accountability for how to apply the things I was learning. Yeah. And so we just meet. It's really intuitive, but it's typically every month and a half, once on Zoom virtually. And I always say, like, however much or little you've read the book, you're totally welcome to come. And I trust that you're going to glean exactly what you need just from being in community. And then I send out an email once a month just to keep people accountable if they're not on social media. And then I typically post in our Facebook group about once a week just to keep people engaged with the book, and a reminder like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be reading that. And maybe any exercises that come up that are helpful. And then also other members have started little breakout groups. That we read Existential Kink a couple months ago, and there were a couple people that wanted to start their own like daily practice and have accountability partners for that. And so it's a great way to be in community and get the most out of these really powerful books that so many of us are passionate about.
I love that. And I love that it's kind of, I would call it maybe lackadaisical. It's like the accountability is only in the Facebook group because you're not having to, 'cause for me, I don't always feel great when I have to commit to things like every week, 1 hour. It starts to feel heavy for me. And so it's like I could be free and whimsical and still read the book and talk about it and be in community. So I love that. If that feels like it's a good fit for you, and you do service men and women. I like to say that because sometimes I have guests that only service women, and hopefully in the future I'll have men that are servicing men so that I can expand. Calling that out, universe. If you're a man listening to this, please reach out. And yeah, so if people are like, that feels good, that's the kind of book club I want to be in. It's free. They will go to your website, which is the joyfulpurposecoaching.com, and they will not apply but they'll opt in for the book club specifically, and then they'll get the link to the Facebook group, because you only get to be in the Facebook group if you already have gone through the website. So
yes, and you'll see it at the top. It's the banner at the top of my landing page on my website.
Very noticeable. She sent me a picture after we talked about it. I was like, dude, why aren't you telling people about that? That's so cool. I was like, can I share this with the people in the membership? Because that would be awesome. And so that's what I love about the membership that I'm working and creating, is because as a guide, you're like, yeah, here's all my stuff. And I just want to highlight you and what you have to offer and what people might be able to do with you. And so you have free things all the way up to like paid coaching. So that's the book club. I'm like, do I have any other questions? I think we covered all of that. Currently, just to recap, this is the book you are currently doing.
We have one more month reading that. So you've got plenty of time to catch up, do the exercises, and join us on January 3rd for the meeting.
You know what? I actually went, because you're in the Sonoma area. She was in Sonoma and I got a signed copy. Were you there?
No, I wasn't. That is so cool.
Yeah, it was. I was just like, wow, what if she was there? Like how our paths crossed before I ever
Right?
knew about it. Yeah, that was back in 2018, I think. And so maybe that's right when you were like just getting into her. But yeah, she was at the casino. Yeah, the big one. I forget its name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Grayton in
Yeah,
Roanoke
yeah.
Park? Oh,
Yes. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Cool.
So that's like just 2.5 hours away from me. So it was a long day, and it started
Yes.
at like 8 a.m. So I stayed at my aunt's house in the Bay Area, and I drove in, and I was just like, "Whoa, what if you were there?" So I'm bummed you weren't, because that would have
I
been
know,
so
me
freaking
too.
cool. But yeah, she spoke and she gave her books, and then I got my signed copy.
That is so cool. I love it. Yeah, this one had been on my shelf for a while, but I hadn't read it, or I had started reading it, but I hadn't really taken the time to apply it. So again, that's why I wanted to start the book club. So I actually made use of some of these really amazing resources.
Yeah, I might be joining, because I have this is how the whole conversation started, that I found. So we were meeting on our welcome call, and I'm just, I learn about what people do, all the things they have to offer people, so that I can, when people come to me and ask for recommendations, I kind of know where to send them. And she's like, "Hey, I had this next to my bed standing up." She's like, "You have that book? Like, that's in my book club right now." And then you hadn't even mentioned the book club. So it's like the universe was like nudging us to
Yes,
talk about it.
pointing.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So there's
Well, here,
absolutely some people that need to join this, because I feel like I know that everything happens for a reason. And so I'm like, that all transpired so that you can call in some people that are like wanting exactly what you have to offer.
I
What were
was
you
just
going to
gonna
say?
say, if anybody's feeling that nudge right now, like please join. It's very casual and relaxed, and there's some really wonderful people in it, and so we just have fun and support each other. And what's better than that?
Yeah. And Jen Sinchero says, "Here's to getting fabulously rich," with a dollar sign. I thought that was the perfect thing.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about some other. So you have the free book club. People can sign up on the website. I know that people don't always see the whole video, so I'm always reiterating. The next thing I want to talk about is you. So let's talk about the coaching, because that's like your highest level package. This is a one-on-one that you have available. And what do you do in your? You've kind of talked about your coaching, but just give me a quick synopsis, one to recap.
Yeah, so I definitely help my clients with mindset. That's kind of where the musical mantras come in. I also use the Brooke Castillo's self-coaching tool, the model, to help show people how their thoughts are creating their emotions, their actions, and the results that they're getting in their lives. So how to change your thinking in order to get it what it is that you want. And the mantras are amazing for that, because they're a great reminder and help to raise your vibration to attract what it is that you're wanting to create. As well as I love offering spiritual processes, from guided meditations to developing intuition and creative exercises. As a creative myself, I was, for a long time before I went to that Abraham seminar and started writing inspirational music, I felt very blocked as a creative. And so using creative processes that access the right side of our brain to get answers that we wouldn't otherwise be aware of.
Yeah.
But essentially, I just partner with my clients to figure out exactly where they are currently not having what they want, what it is that they want to achieve, and we create a plan on how to get them where they want to be. Many of my clients have a passion project or some purpose that they're trying to achieve for themselves. They're feeling like they're stuck, unmotivated. They're wanting more meaning or fulfillment in their life. And so maybe they know what they want to do, but they don't know how to get there, or they have no idea what they're meant to do. And they want to discover their purpose. So I have tools, endless tools in my toolkit to help assist people to transform their lives and live their joyful purpose.
And I believe you when you say endless tools, because we met at NLP, which is a whole nother plethora of like a million tools plus everything you already had ahead of time. And we learned some pretty powerful tools while we were there. And actually, the NLP, you being able to share that with your clients is really powerful, because I had already experienced that from a lot of other guides that are in the membership that I have worked with personally. And which is why I was like, I need to take this, like, even though I don't do coaching, at this time. I don't know if I ever will, but I was like, I need it for my own life just to improve for myself. And after that event, like, holy crap, I have been on fire. Like, I came back, it was already on my agenda to get the membership launch, but it was just like, all of the tool. I don't want to talk about the tools that we did because people are gonna be like, what does that mean? But like helping with my procrastination, being more I had actually a huge emotional release there, which something the NLP and the exercises we were doing allowed me to open up. And like, I mean, it was crazy. Like, I'm not a big crier. I'm trying to be better, like more open to that, not better at it. But, and when we were there, like it just came through. And it's like, these are the tools you were using with your clients on top of what you were already using. And I know was super powerful. So I just wanted to add that in because,
Yeah.
yeah.
The NLP, again, accesses and makes shifts and changes in the subconscious mind.
Yes.
So often in coaching, it's like if we're just working on goals and we're just working on action step and accountability, that's all great, but it's not going to have permanent lasting change unless you address what's going on in the subconscious.
Yeah.
And that's what's so powerful about the NLP techniques is that there's these really simple exercises that help to rewire and rewrite the subconscious.
Yes, and I have talked a lot about that on all my other lives, and you mentioned it earlier that our subconscious brain is running our life, and no one teaches this that I remember in school. Maybe they do now, I don't know, but it's like, oh, just go, Jennifer, go launch your membership. You had this, but there was so much like self sabotage, limiting beliefs, like all these things that are underneath. Like if you envision an iceberg, and it's like, here's all the things I want to do, but here's what's actually happening at the point of the bottom of the iceberg is all these things that I don't know, can't see unless I explore. And that's like what I have done in a lot of my sessions with people is subconscious work. And subconscious work is where the magic truly happens, the changes happen, because we have like no idea what's going on unless we explore, which is why I created my membership and I called them explorers. Like you want to change and you're ready to explore yourself deeper and you need some guidance maybe because you don't have the tools yet. So then that's where you connect with the guides and then it all comes together beautifully.
Yes.
So if someone is interested in your one-on-one coaching, how should they you'll do a consult for them, like
Yes.
to see if it's a good fit and to tell them more about it?
If you're feeling like there's a nudge inside of you that you feel like we resonate, you want to explore more about working with me, I have a no obligation, free 50-minute 50 clarity call. And in that call, we're going to dedicate that 15 minutes to your life, your dream that you want to create, where you are now and what's keeping you stuck to really give you perspective on what needs to change in order for you to create the life that you dream about. And if it makes sense, we can talk about working together and what that looks like. And if not, you'll leave with a new perspective and different mindset around your life and your purpose.
I love that. And 50 minutes is a lot of time, people. So I'm like, knowing what I know in the world of healing and coaching, sometimes we can't allot that much time for people. So that is very generous of you. And I feel like if you are going to meet with someone for 50 minutes, whether they decide to work with you or not, they're going to get something out of it. So if they're feeling that call, if you are feeling that call, you are feeling that pull, go to her website and you can book a free consultation with her. I put it here, joyfulpurposecoaching.com. Make sure I spelled it all right. And okay, other ways that people can work with you. And I thought this was really important. You were just we were just talking about things and it's about mastering intuition. So you actually have a course. We would call this a low ticket offer and it's self-study, right? And so I like to teach as I am, because I was new to the coaching world at one point and I didn't know what all these terms were, or what this meant. So it's like, you can, if you like Astra, you can connect with her in so many ways. You can do the free book club. You can learn to master your intuition through her lower ticket offer, which it's $88 for her course. We're going to talk about it right now. Or as you go into one-on-one, it's obviously going to be more time and energy and effort on your part. So that's a higher ticket offer. So if people hear me use these, then they know what I'm saying. So tell me about your Mastering Intuition course, because I've known a lot of people, myself included, when I first became open on my path of my spiritual awakening, that I wanted to master my intuition. And I felt like, oh, I don't have any. And now, like, I can see how much it's grown and expand with all the work I've done.
Yes, absolutely. And as I mentioned before, for my own life, I found that once I made the decision to be more attuned with my intuition, like everything changed for me. And
Yeah.
so it's something that I find, I mean, selfishly, it's a lot easier to coach my clients when they're in tune with their intuition because they trust themselves more.
Yeah.
They feel like they have almost like this secret weapon, this advisor, this mentor, like with them all the time that can give them guidance for their purpose, for their higher calling. And so this was something that I really wanted to bring to my clients is tools for developing their intuition. So it's called 21 Days to Mastering Your Intuition. It is self-study, but the way that I recommend doing it, it was a live class that I recorded. So it was done over 3 weeks time. So I recommend people do that on their own is just plan 3 weeks out. So you can do one video per week and apply the exercises and tools in between. And
Yeah.
so, you get as much out of it as you put in. So being able to work the exercises on your own time and start to notice your intuition showing up for you in your own life is going to make it that much more powerful and transformational for you. So in the videos, they're each about an hour 15 minutes long. There's breath work exercises, there's creative exercises. I believe we do one musical mantra in each class. You also
Cool.
get a soul workbook journal to follow along. And I made lyric videos of the musical mantras. So you can start to sing those and learn those because like one of them I wrote specifically for opening up to intuition. So you can
Ooh.
sing that to help raise your vibration and invite in your intuition to communicate with you more regularly.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. And I just want to really emphasize how important the workbook and actually doing the exercises is, because I was always a person that I would read a book and I'd be like, I'm going to go back and do the exercises. And let me tell you how many times I did not do it. So, knowledge without action is actually really nothing. So, it's
Yes.
like, now I know that I have to actually integrate. I have to be in action. I have to practice it. I can read it all I want, but like in action is where I actually get clarity and sort things out and started to like open it up and practice more and learn more. So I really love that you have exercises and a workbook that comes with it. If people are interested, they can get it on the website and it's $88. So it's like, oh, I can't, maybe coaching's not for me right now. Start small. Grab her intuition course, join the book club, do both.
The other
And
thing I'll just mention is that it also included in the $88 for the e-course is a Clarity Plus call with me.
oh,
So it's a call where we can actually I recommend like at the start of your course to book that call so we can give you a strategy for going forward to take the course and you can be set up for success.
holy crap. That is amazing value right there, that it includes a call also. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to emphasize as we were talking about the subconscious mind is that I never realized it until I started to do this work, how powerful the subconscious mind is. And I love that you have the songs, because as I have grown and evolved in my own journey, I now recognize like what I'm listening to, what I'm watching, what information I'm taking in, also what I'm thinking, how I speak to myself is all like impacting our subconscious. So sometimes I'll watch something before bed and then I dream about it. And so it's like that's my subconscious at work. And that's why I don't watch like scary movies anymore, things that give me high anxiety. And the reason I'm saying this is because you give these positive songs. Like I have seen my music taste change. Like I've taken a lot of things out of my Apple Music that I don't listen to anymore because it's not what I want my brain to be taking in. It doesn't feel good. So I love that you give feel good, positive music to be listening. And they call it spelling for a reason, right? So when we're
Mhm.
writing things out and we're spelling, and you wrote these songs, so you were spelling. It is like placing a spell into our subconscious mind. And so ever since I heard that, I was like, that's so good. I need to reiterate that to people. It's like, be aware of what you're putting into your brain. And so I love that it comes with the musical mantras, because if they took nothing else away from that and just had those and were listening to them every day, you will feel a difference. If you are, your brain will just like what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe help me out here. It'll
Rewires your
wire.
neural
Thank
pathways.
you. Rewire. Yes, that's what I was
Yes.
looking for. So I just wanted to add that in. Okay. We got to wrap it up here in a minute. Let's see. So we got coaching, the book club, the course. Oh, spiritual mastery event. So Astra first is going to be the featured speaker in the February guides event. I just want to put that out there. So if you're joining the membership, or you can attend as a non-member guest, it's $15. She will be our featured speaker. Put that on your calendar. And we are partnering up together to do a spiritual mastery event. It is going to be on December 20th. 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's going to be a live hot seat. She will be here live. I'll be there with her. For members of the Connected Soul Network, explorers, and guides, men and women, it is open for you to attend for free. It's $15 if you're not a member and you want to join. And she's going to pick one person live. So on the form that you'll fill out for ahead of time, you'll say if you're open to being a person that's picked. We're just going to have people raise their hand, but we'll have an idea. So you will have an idea if you come to the event, if you would like to be that person. And then she's going to walk you through a hot seat coaching process. Tell us more about that.
Yes. So the spiritual mastery process is one of those creative spiritual processes that I mentioned that I'll take my clients through. But this is a process developed by Fern Gorin, who was the founder of my coaching school, Life Purpose Institute. And it is a method for tapping into your own spirituality to heal and address any situation in your life. So it makes use of your spiritual gifts and resources and works on a spiritual level to heal or resolve any difficult challenge or conflict that you're going through. So the person that will be sitting in the hot seat, they're going to have to be willing to share an issue that they're going through, and we'll take them through this process. It's kind of like a guided meditation type situation, but it's a lot more than that. So they can tap into their own resources, and I'll use some kind of subconscious processes for them to be able to do that. But it's also really powerful because everyone who comes to the event is going to be able to close their eyes and experience it for themselves as if they were in the hot seat. Even though we're addressing someone else's specific issue, everyone will be able to apply it to themselves and an issue that they have.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So that link will be coming. We'll have that up actually by the time this airs. I'm like, I always have to remember that we're recording ahead of time. It's Spiritual Mastery event, December 20th, 6 to 7 p.m., free for members, 15 for non-members. You can register in the comments in the caption. Now I want to make sure we have enough time for our live musical mantra.
Yay!
I'm going to have you sing us out, and I might be back depending on our time, and I might not, but I'm going to disappear off the screen for a moment so that Astra can be the focus with her amazing musical talents. So take it away.
So this is a song that I invite you to replay this recording so you can learn it for yourself. Listen to me singing it for as many times as you need to so you can memorize it, and then sing this as many times throughout your day as you can until it just will start to play on repeat, and it will help to raise your vibration and rewrite your subconscious mind. This is called the Ultimate Success Mantra. I expand in abundance. I expand in success. I expand in love every day, and I inspire others to do the same. I expand in abundance. I expand in success. I expand in love every day, and I inspire others to do the same.
That was beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh. And we still have a couple minutes left. Yay. Okay. I was like, I wasn't sure how long we would need. Thank you for that beautiful song. And
Thank
if
you.
I'm going to edit this and put it into the membership as just by itself with your bio and your guide profile link in there.
Yay!
So if you are a member, you'll be able to go into the membership and find just the song by itself, this interview as well, if you are looking just for a place to capture it. Thank you for that. That was amazing. If you want to connect with Astra, just one more time, her website is joyfulpurposecoaching.com. She is a member of the Connected Soul Network. She's going to be our featured speaker at the Guides event on February 1st. And she is amazing. And she has so many things. So, like, any way that you are wanting to connect with her, you can just follow her on social media. She's posting content all the time. And she has the free book club, the intuition course, coaching one-on-one. She's going to be at some of the events. You'll be able to connect with her, and your just energy and presence is so beautiful and confident. I really feel like that confidence that comes through when you speak, and you're just a beautiful soul. Thank you so much for being a part
Oh,
of the
thank you,
membership.
Jen. And thank you, everyone out there. I look forward to connecting with all of you in this network and working with you in whatever way feels aligned and shows up for each of us.
I love it. All right, everyone, have an amazing day. And thanks again to Astra. And it was so fun to share you with the world and get to know you more. Because I did. I mean, I didn't know like your backstory. We never got into that. But that's what the magic happens. It's like, then it's real like me, like, whoa. They're getting the true reactions from me as well. So thank you for your time, your energy, your presence. And we just appreciate you. Have an amazing day, everybody. Bye.
Yeah.